a Dear Media original podcast.
Hi, welcome to Good Instincts. I'm Shira Barlow, but you may know me as the food therapist. Join me every Monday through Friday for bite-sized episodes designed to help you close the gap between where you are right now and where you want to go. This should feel good, like really good. And it will, I promise. Drinking alcohol has basically been at the center of social occasions since the Greeks and the Romans. However, I have been hearing a bunch of people in recent years, especially in wellness circles, ditching alcohol simply because it makes them feel like crap. We talked about this in the interviews with Erin Foster and Cameron Rogers, which you can go back and check out. It really is coming up a lot these days, so I thought we'd get into it. And we know dry January has been around for a decade and it's become very popular. But especially in the last couple years, it's been on the rise. It's been up 21% since 2019. And also, for what it's worth, Sober Talk on TikTok has more than 1 billion views. And I really think that brands are taking note. We have these products that have nootropics in them, which are essentially like compounds that enhance brain function and boost memory and focus. It's kind of like the opposite of what alcohol does. And there are a couple cool brands. There's one called Hop Water. It's Hop WTR. I'm very into that one because it doesn't have sugar. I honestly don't know how well it works, but I do think that there's something interesting about these products that are made to do all the things that alcohol can kind of suppress. Dessoir is another brand I've found popping up a bunch, which, by the way, the branding is stunning. And I've heard it's just a really nice product. And I feel like if you brought that over to someone's house, it could be on par with any beautiful bottle of wine or spirits or anything that you would normally bring to someone's house. There is then the whole crop of mocktails. And this is a bit more complicated because I think that people get really serious about alcohol in this way. And there are a lot of elements that are deeply personal and everyone has different preferences in terms of acidity and sweetness and bitterness and saltiness and complexity and maturity. But I do think there are a couple really cool non-alcoholic spirits that are popping up everywhere. One is Hio. Another one is Seedlip. There's Kin and Gaia. The thing about these is that most of them have a lot of sugar. And the thing that I wouldn't want to have happen is that people are foregoing alcohol for health. And then they're ending up drinking a kind of like elevated Shirley Temple. So I think that the sugar content really does matter and it's something to keep in mind. So just look on the back of the label and figure out what's worth it to you. There was one of these that I thought was so special and did not have sugar. It was called Pentire. Listen to the ingredients. It has salt and rosemary and citrus, and it's basically a vegan gin alternative. It pairs with seltzer. If I were going to be investing in a mocktail, that's the one I would try. And now there's even brands that aren't even non-alcoholic brands that are kind of jumping on the sober curious bandwagon. I saw in January, the kombucha brand Health Aid really got in there, and they were talking about reframing the fermented tea in terms of an opportunity to prioritize health by drinking something that tastes really good and feels really good. And I do think that kombucha is really being positioned along this sober curious trend as well. So I am finding that people are really choosing not to drink or not drink as much. And they want to feel better and they want healthy guts and they want better sleep and they want better moods. And I think especially parents or people with jobs, it's really hard to wake up the next day and have a hangover. I also find that drinking is a ritual that tends to feel good in the moment. And it's something a lot of people use to unwind, to feel warm and cozy. And for me lately, I've been doing the fullest turmeric latte, which I can link in the episode description. It is so special and really hits all of those marks. And also our guest, Lisa Levitt-Gainsley, gave us an amazing tip on lymph massage for settling in for the night. I don't drink and I haven't for many years. And the reason why is it just simply doesn't feel good for me. And it really never has. I have a very sensitive system and I have a sensitive gut and I work really hard to feel balanced and good. And so it's just not been worth it for me for a really long time. And the one thing I want to say about it is I do find that sometimes people get bummed about that in the same way as if you're with a friend and they really want to order dessert and you don't really want to. Some people take it as a personal offense or that the meal wasn't as decadent or special or intimate. What I will say about that is that it's okay to disappoint someone in that moment. There's a way to do it in like a warm, funny, cozy way that doesn't make someone else feel bad about themselves for drinking. But I really do feel like if this is something that feels good for you, don't be afraid to try this out and see how it feels. The reality is with this and with I think a lot of things is that for the most part, people aren't really paying attention. We think it's a really big deal, but people are kind of thinking about their own stuff. And if they are paying attention to whether we're drinking or not drinking, that's likely has to do with something going on internally for them. I do think that if you are someone who has always been a social drinker, having something in your hand can feel almost like a security blanket. So I think some of these mocktails can be really fun. I do have a recipe that I think is so simple and really special. It's basically a pamplemousse LaCroix, half a lemon, and 5 drops of stevia. It's really, really special. And I'm so curious if you like it. If you try any of these, let me know. I love hearing from you. Tomorrow, we are going to be talking about some things that I'm absolutely loving. I'll see you there. Thank you so much for listening to Good Instincts, hosted and written by me, Shira Barlow. You can find me on Instagram at Shira_RD. Good Instincts is a Dear Media daily.